A lot of stress that I felt over the past few years wasn't because I didn't have high income. It was because I didn't have a plan to fall back on if something happened. I had no money saved. And God forbid there was an emergency surgery or I got a flat tire, my entire life would blow up. I began to focus on saving. I opened up a high yield savings account and I was able to save $10,000 since early last year. And I'm telling you, the weight that literally fell off my shoulders, the stress that exited my life, I wouldn't change anything. I wish I would have done it sooner. I want to share with you how I was able to do it, what it's done for my life, and how you can do it too. Before I get into it, I really want to share something important with you. Yesterday, I received a comment on one of my YouTube videos, and I can say that I get it. I get it. This person said, I'm so sick of the 3 to 6 months BS. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can't do that. If you don't grasp that, y'all should not be talking about personal finance. Okay? I can tell you right now that I'm no expert. I've said that time and time again in my videos. I'm not a financial advisor. I am sharing from experience. Why am I sharing? Because I am documenting my journey. I'm not only doing this for myself, but I'm also doing it for you because number one, I've never been a gatekeeper. Number two, I feel like I've been called to do this in this season of my life. And number three, if I can help just one person, then I've done my job. Here's the reality, okay? If you started following me from day one, you know one thing, okay? Number one, I moved back home at the age of 43 to start over. Number two, I say time and time again how important it is to have more than one stream of income. When I responded to this gentleman, I said, listen, I get it. I feel your frustration because I've been there before. But here's the thing. The paycheck to paycheck is his frustration. And this 3 month savings is not BS, okay? It works. It may not work for you yet, but it works. It works for the people who make the sacrifices. It works for the people who create a plan. It works for the people who are persistent and consistent until they reach their goals. Here's what I had to do when I made the decision to start over. I had to let go of shame. I had to let go of doubt. I had to let go of fear. I had to let go of the expectations, what society places on us at where we should be at certain points of our life. And I said, you know what? I'm 43 years old, but I need help. And so I packed up my things in Long Beach, California, and I moved back home to Central California. That was not easy, especially from someone who has been successful from the age of literally 18 years old, never needed help. Did everything on my own, had a lot of success, and yet I still found myself in that position at rock bottom after 40. And so I'm saying all this to say that I had to make a sacrifice to say, yes, I want to live in Southern California. Yes, I love to live across the street from the beach. Yes, I love my lifestyle, but I can't afford my lifestyle right now because I'm in debt. And I don't have a plan for my business yet in order to scale it, removing myself from the bottleneck. And so I'm saying this because if you're watching this video and you're frustrated and you're saying, yeah, it's easier said than done. Trust me, I was that person, but I had to change my mindset and I also had to make a change in my life. It is doable. You have to figure out a path that's going to work for you. Everyone's going to be different. Not everyone can move back home. I get it. But someone may have a significant other who understands what they're going through and will be able to step in and help out. Or maybe someone has the ability to move locations. Maybe someone has a friend that can refer you to that dream job that you have. Everyone's in a different situation. The fact of the matter is, are you being resourceful enough? Because if you haven't figured out a plan yet, you're not exercising all of your resources. And I'm just being honest because I'm telling you right now, I was in that position that this gentleman was in almost 2 years ago, and I said, I'm working so hard, I'm doing everything. God, why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening? Why can't I, that. And I finally had to look myself in the mirror and say, have you exercised every single resource and opportunity? And the answer, if I was being real with myself, was no. Because my parents were like, you can always move back home. You can always move back home. I'm like, yeah, right. And God was like, you could always move back home, right? So the answer was right in front of me. I just didn't want to open that door. Once I opened that door, things began to flourish and things began to take off. And so I want to share with you exactly what I was able to do. Number one, I'm going to say this again. If you are trying to pay off debt, put money into your high yield savings account, invest, put money into your retirement account, and you're working off of one paycheck, you're going to be always your number one struggle. Okay. You need to be able to create multiple streams. Get a side hustle. All right. Apply for a part-time job. Find, do market research surveys. I've already showed you my 7 income streams. Okay. Consulting, market research, content monetization, coaching. Okay. Brand collaborations. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Digital products, affiliate marketing. Those are my 7. They're always bringing in revenue. Just yesterday, out of the blue, someone referred a client to me. High ticket coaching. Boom, they paid. 1 phone call. And that's my least of my streams of income. I've told you guys that all the time. I only coach now when people reach out. I usually don't promote my coaching. It's referral based. And when people just know what I do, they reach out, they sign up. That income stream that came in, literally going towards my debt. And so I'm sharing this out of love because I want to help the next person. I want to pay it forward. I'm sharing my journey because it's working for me. And I know that if it's working for me, it can work for someone else. You just have to reframe your mind. You have to let go of the anger, let go of the frustration, because the energy that you put out is exactly what you're going to attract back to you. Okay? So I want to share with you exactly how I did it. I'm not giving you fluff. I'm literally giving you the blueprint of how I've been able to save. So that way you can do it too. You may need to tweak some things in your life or figure out a way that works best for you, but the goal is to get started. All right. So my big goal is to save about 3 to 6 months of income. All right. Now for me, that number is anywhere between $30,000 and $60,000. I'm already 1/3 there because my goal for the end of the year is to at least have 30K saved. And right now I have 10K in my high yield savings account. Now it may sound like a lot for some of you, but you know the beauty of getting started? It almost creates this snowball effect. God is so good because I truly believe that a lot of times we are blocking our own blessings. When you don't put the plan into action, when you wait until you have everything together, you are delaying your blessings. When I got started with my first $100, that 10K came quick. I remember I got a brand collaboration that was like $3,000, and I got another brand collaboration that was, another $2,000. It just came quick. And I was able to put it all in my emergency fund. And yes, I am blessed. Like I said, I don't have to pay any bills here. All of the money that I make, I can put towards my dreams. And so I know that I'm very blessed to be in this situation. But I'm telling you, there are blessings in your life too. You just have to look at every angle. And sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do the thing that you're probably most resistant to do. The thing that you probably don't want to do is probably the direction you need to go. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going to be easy. If you're looking for the easy route, then of course you're going to be frustrated and you're going to be stuck because you're trying to do things in your own strength. If you surrender and you give it to God, He's going to show you exactly where you need to go. And you need to trust His steps and direction and just go. Okay? So that's my goal. Now, my milestone, like I mentioned, I hit my first 10K towards the end of 2025. Early 2026. And it is proof that it's doable if you're focused and you have a plan. Okay. Seeing that 5 figures in my account every single day, it changes everything. I turned 45 next week, next Thursday. And I'm finally celebrating. This is the first time in almost 2 years, over a year and a half, that I'm spending any money on myself. All my money has been towards my debt repayment, my retirement, as well as my savings. And then paying the little bills that I have. The guilt that I felt was heavy because I am spending a good chunk of money. I'm thinking, man, I could put that money towards, this debt. My last 2 final ones that I want to clear this year before I start working on my student loans. But God told me, trust me. And what happened? Yesterday, I had a client sign up for coaching and a big chunk of money came in and I was like, wow. You see what happens when you put your plan into action? You start to attract. You're no longer chasing, you are attracting money. You're attracting opportunities because you are trusting the process, you're surrendering, and you have that peace of mind that you already have something saved. And at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I still have my emergency fund. I've still paid off 4 debts in less than 2 months because I was consistent. And so I'm going to enjoy my birthday. I'm going to enjoy this trip. I deserve this vacation. I am tired. But the point is that, I have my plan. And me celebrating is not taken away from my plan because I budgeted. All right. So hopefully by the end of the year, like I said, the plan is to have $30,000. Okay. So that means that I have 20,000 more to go. And, if I don't hit it, y'all, like this is the thing, you need to give yourself grace and be flexible, because if I don't hit the 30K by the end of the year, that's okay. It probably means that I've paid off a lot of my debt and I invested more and I reached my maximum for my retirement account. That's okay. I'd rather do that, right? I'm not going to beat myself up. It's all about progression, not perfection. Are you making progress? If you are, then you should be proud of what you're doing. There's no pressure. All right. When you put that pressure on yourself, things don't flow. When you just do what you need to do without the stress, things begin to flow. So progress over perfection. The key that I want you to understand in your journey is to get started. Some of you are waiting still. And I don't know what for. You're waiting for the perfect plan or a huge check or for you to pay this off first. If you do not start paying yourself first right now, and you're over the age of even 30, you're going to regret it. I'm telling you. I don't care if you put away $15 this month. You have to get started for things to begin to pick up. It's almost like this switch. Because the fear, the negative self-talk, the shame, the doubt, the overthinking, all of those things are going to keep you from actually saving and doing the thing that you need to do. When you just say, you know what, I'm going to just do it. And you put $10 or $15, that triggers something in your system. And then things begin to work. And then you start to create the plan. Okay, well, wow, I did it. I that was the first step. Okay, that's done. Now you start to create a plan and you make it to be automated maybe. All right, I could do $10 every month. And then you're like attracting money and things start to be, okay, I can increase that to 30. Oh, wow, I just got this extra bonus. I can increase that to now 50. Things begin to happen because you started. And so here's the golden rule though, once you start, don't touch that money. Do not touch that money. It is not for vacation. You see how I didn't say, oh, I'm going on vacation next week and I'm pulling from my emergency fund? No, I said I have my emergency fund, the $10,000 in there. I have other money in investments. I have my retirement. I've paid off 4 of my debt. This was budgeted. This is my money. Okay. This is not anything that I'm pulling. So it's not for a new outfit. It's not for, anything for your personal fun and excursions. This is for an emergency. Okay. And knowing that the money is there makes the emergencies feel like minor inconveniences. So I want you to really, really, really separate what's for emergencies and what's for your spending money. Okay. And that's why I have 4 bank accounts. I actually was in a comment section on Threads yesterday and the lady was like, talking about you need to have 3 bank accounts, and they're not really bank accounts, but she was saying, your high yield savings, she was saying your investment, your brokerage accounts, and then your retirement accounts. Okay. And she said, and if you need, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you need extra money, then you pull it from your savings, your high yield savings. And I said, actually, no. I said, I'm going to give you an extra bank account, and this is how I run my money. You have your brokerage accounts, you have your retirement accounts, you have your high yield savings accounts. I also have my business accounts, okay, my 2 businesses, and I also have a personal checking account. So I have 2 checkings and a personal checking. Actually, I have 4 checkings, but that's another thing. But the 4 bank accounts, the main ones that you need, that 4th one is called a Hills and Valley account. That account is where you pull when you need extra money and cash flow because maybe you're an entrepreneur and you had a down month. We call those hills and valleys. You put about $5,000, $10,000 in there for your slow months. You don't pull from your emergency fund. The whole point of having an emergency fund is to never pull from it unless it's an emergency. You having a slow month is not an emergency. Yes, you need to pay your bills, but that's why you create a hills and valley. Okay? These are systems that you can implement slowly into your life and your business that's going to change the game for you, okay? So golden rule, don't touch the money. Now, where I'm keeping my money, I'm keeping it in SoFi. I'm going to put the link in the description where you can go sign up for free and you can get started with as low as $100 a month or $50 a month. Just get started, okay? I have a high yield savings account and it's earning me interest every single month. Okay. This is important because now my money is working for me. My interest that I'm making is 4.5%. Every single month, I get an interest payment of around $37 now, I believe it's around. I don't pay too close attention, but it's in the 30s. That's $37 that I can now put into my brokerage account, right? An extra 30 in addition to what I'm already putting in every single month. Now, once my money hits $20,000, that interest is going to drop, I believe, to 3.1%, or maybe it's 3.6%. Still good money, okay? The fact of the matter is, right now it's at 4.5% because I pay a small investment. So you can either do direct deposit. So if you're paying yourself and you have a direct deposit set up, then you can do that. Or if your employer is giving you direct deposit, you can set that up and then you waive the fee. However, I don't have direct deposit, so I pay the $10 a month fee. Small amount of money to receive that 4.5%. So if you want to look at it like my interest is, $37 minus a $10 fee that I pay. So I make about $27 of interest every month, if you want to look at it that way. Okay, because I do pay the $10 for the highest interest. Otherwise, I would be making the 3.1%. Okay, but it's worth every penny. It's worth it because I'm still in the green. I'm still up, right? I want to make it very clear as we wrap today's video that the real benefit of all of this is not even the interest, y'all. It's the peace of mind. It's the peace of mind. My stress has dropped the moment that I knew that I had a cushion and I stopped worrying about what if. Because now I know that I'm covered because I went with my plan. I really hope that this video resonates with someone. And I really wanted to share that comment that someone posted yesterday, not to out them because that's just not who I am, but to use that as a learning lesson, a teaching moment to say, I get it. That paycheck to paycheck isn't the life that I would ever want to live. That's exactly why I teach have multiple streams of income. That is the thing that I say over and over again. You guys are probably tired of it, but it's true that you need more than one stream. If you really want to fast track your retirement, your debt repayment, and your investments, you need to have more than one stream, okay? So in closing, if you're starting over and you're over the age of 40, you're 50, you're 60, your first job is to protect your peace. When you're frustrated like that gentleman yesterday, it's because he doesn't have peace. Your first job is to protect your peace. So whatever that means for you, move locations, move back home, get a roommate, take another, part-time job, get a side hustle, figure out how to use social media and get monetized and figure out how to make it work for you. Whatever it is that you need to do that to give you the peace of mind. Then the next thing you need to do is to start with your emergency fund. Because until you have that cushion, you're never going to fully feel at ease. Okay? Even if it's $50 to get you started, you need to do that. Again, the link is in the description. Get started. Do not wait. If you're overthinking it, you're sabotaging yourself. You are. Okay? And then finally, I want to say that if you can follow at least a few of these steps, your future self is going to thank you for it. I am already thanking myself for what I've done in the past 18 months. I'm so grateful that I went against what I really wanted to do, which was stay in LA. And I said, you know what? If I have to sacrifice 2-3 years for a lifetime of peace and financial freedom, then I'm going to do that, because I'm darn sure not struggling in my 60s and 70s days. I'm not doing that. I want to retire somewhere in my 50s, hopefully by 54. And if I want to do that, I got to fast track it. And the way to fast track it is to come back here. So I want you to do this for yourself, because you're going to be able to sleep better at night, and you are going to be able to have the financial freedom that you've always dreamt of. Okay. Now, if you want to see the 10 steps that I'm actually doing every single week to build wealth, I'm going to go ahead and put the link to that video in the description. And then it's also going to be the next video that you can watch, because I truly believe that, everything that I'm sharing with you, I'm sharing it because it's working for my life. And there's a way that it can work for you too. You just have to figure out how to tweak it in order to make it work. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dupé Aleru, and this is your Daily Dose with Dupé. If you enjoyed this video and you feel like it spoke to you, feel free to subscribe. I would love to see you here again. Share it with someone who you feel that can use it. And until next time, I just want to wish each and every one of you a beautiful and blessed day.